Harper, Harper, she murmured. Oh dear, he's back in my courtroom next
You may.
month. Her assistant smiled sympathetically. He seemed overwhelmed. He is overwhelmed, the judge replied. If he doesn't get proper legal guidance, this case will become a disaster. The judge set the file aside with a sigh. Sometimes people didn't need punishment, they needed direction. She hoped Harper found it before it was too late. Over the next 2 weeks, Harper met with Evelyn Grant twice. Each meeting was intense, focused, and productive. She assigned him tasks: gather financial records, maintain a calm communication log, avoid unnecessary contact with his ex-wife. To his surprise, he followed every instruction. Evelyn noticed. You're doing well, she said one afternoon. I don't want to ruin this, Harper replied. I can't afford another mistake. You won't, she assured him. Now let's go over the strategy for your next hearing. Harper leaned in, absorbing every word. For the first time since the divorce began, he felt like he had a real chance. But trouble was brewing. 3 days before the hearing, Harper's ex-wife filed an emergency motion accusing him of hiding assets. Harper called Evelyn in a panic. She's lying. I swear I didn't hide anything. Evelyn remained calm. Andrew, listen to me. This is a tactic. She wants to destabilize you before the hearing. We will respond logically, not emotionally. How? Simple. You'll give me full access to every financial document. Bank statements, tax returns, everything. If your records are clean, we'll crush this motion. Harper swallowed hard. He had nothing to hide, but the accusation rattled him. Harper couldn't sleep. Every fear resurfaced. The failed relationship, the arguments, the money spent, the unresolved wounds, all tangled into a storm inside him. He replayed Judge Marlowe's tone in his head. He replayed Langley's disappointment. He replayed Evelyn's confidence. And somewhere in the middle of that mental chaos, he realized something important. He wasn't angry anymore. He was afraid of losing himself. The divorce wasn't just about ending a marriage. It was about proving he wasn't the villain his ex-wife painted him to be. The courtroom was full again. Judge Marlowe took her seat, glanced at the new attorneys, and lifted her brow slightly when she noticed Evelyn. Well, the judge said. Ms. Grant, I see Mr. Harper has found new representation. Yes, Your Honor, Evelyn replied with composure. And we are prepared to respond to the emergency motion. Judge Marlowe nodded. Proceed. Harper watched Evelyn rise, paperwork in hand, eyes sharp with determination. For the first time in months, he felt ready. The moment the case was called, the courtroom buzzed with a tense, electric energy. Mr. Harper could feel his heartbeat in his throat. He stood straighter this time, less fragile than the last, because beside him stood attorney Evelyn Grant. Focused, fearless, and ready for battle. Judge Marlowe surveyed the room with her usual sharp gaze. Good morning, everyone. We're here to address the emergency motion filed by the respondent, alleging Mr. Harper concealed marital assets. Ms. Grant, you may proceed. Evelyn stepped forward like a seasoned warrior, her folder opening with a crisp snap. Thank you, Your Honor. We intend to show that this motion is not only baseless but strategically designed to derail the upcoming hearing. Harper's ex-wife, seated with her attorney, smirked confidently. Evelyn continued, We have compiled full financial documentation, including 5 years of tax returns, bank statements, investment accounts, and verified employment records. Every document shows complete transparency. Judge Marlowe nodded approvingly. Do you have these documents for the court? Yes, Your Honor. Evelyn handed them over with steady hands. Harper's ex-wife's attorney rose. Your Honor, we believe. Judge Marlowe cut him off immediately. Belief is irrelevant. Evidence is what matters. And unless you have documents proving asset concealment, this motion is dead on arrival. The opposing attorney hesitated. The judge's expression hardened. Well, she pressed. We only have statements from the respondent claiming Mr. Harper handled money suspiciously. Judge Marlowe leaned back, unimpressed. A spouse's suspicions are not proof. Filing emergency motions without evidentiary backing is an abuse of court time. Harper's ex-wife stiffened in her seat, her confident smirk evaporating. Evelyn continued smoothly, "Your Honor, we request denial of the emergency motion and ask the court to admonish the respondent for misuse of legal process." The judge turned her attention to Harper. "Mr. Harper, please stand." Harper stood, nerves rattling. "I reviewed your previous case in this courtroom," Judge Marlowe said. "Your behavior has improved. Your documentation is organized. Your communication logs are appropriate. Your preparation is significantly better." Harper felt something in his chest loosen. Relief. Judge Marlowe shifted to Evelyn. "And Ms. Grant, your presentation is thorough and compelling." "Thank you, Your Honor." The judge turned her gaze to the opposing counsel. "This motion is denied in its entirety. Additionally, I am issuing a formal warning to the respondent regarding frivolous filings. Attempting to weaponize the court system is unacceptable." Harper's ex-wife inhaled sharply, eyes wide with outrage. Judge Marlowe looked directly at her. "This courtroom is not a battleground for personal vendettas. If such behavior continues, sanctions will follow. Do I make myself clear?" "Yes, Your Honor," she replied through gritted teeth. The judge nodded. "Good. Now, let's move to scheduling the next hearing." As they stepped outside, Harper exhaled shakily. We won that, right?" Evelyn smiled, a rare, small smile. "Yes, Andrew. You did very well. I didn't even say anything." "You didn't need to," she replied. "Your documents spoke. And your composure helped even more." For the first time, Harper felt proud. Not just relieved, but genuinely proud. The version of himself from the first hearing seemed like a different man entirely. 2 days later, Harper received an email from his ex-wife. "If you think you won today, you're wrong. I'm not done with you." He showed the message to Evelyn. She read it slowly, then sighed. "Andrew, she's escalating. People who feel they're losing control tend to push harder." "But that email," she raised her brows, "that's harassment, and it works in your favor." "How?" "Because she's showing instability. Judges notice patterns." "What should I do?" "Nothing," Evelyn said firmly. "Do not respond. I'll include this in our case binder." Harper nodded. He had learned not to let emotion steer the wheel. Over the next week, Evelyn prepared Harper for the full hearing. They practiced testimony, reviewed financial charts, studied communication logs. Harper's confidence grew each day. "You're becoming a strong client," Evelyn remarked. "It's because you give clear instructions," he replied. She chuckled. "And because you follow them." The courtroom filled quickly. This was the big one. Division of assets, spousal support, final motions. Judge Marlowe took her seat, reviewing the thick case file stacked in front of her. "Let's begin," she announced. Evelyn presented evidence with surgical precision. Harper answered questions with calm clarity. The ex-wife's attorney objected repeatedly, often without merit. At one point, the ex-wife burst out, "He's lying. He always lies. He's lying. He always lies. Judge Marlowe slammed her gavel. "Enough. Outbursts will not be tolerated." The ex-wife sank back into her chair, red-faced. Evelyn whispered to Harper, "Her emotions are helping our case." After hours of arguments, evidence, and brief recesses, Judge Marlowe removed her glasses, signaling the decision. "This case has been turbulent, emotional, and unnecessarily prolonged due to the respondent's conduct," she began. Harper's breath caught. This was the moment. The judge continued, "I find that Mr. Harper has demonstrated transparency in financial matters, appropriate communication conduct, and willingness to comply with all court directives." Harper felt his eyes sting. The judge turned her gaze to the ex-wife. "Conversely, the respondent has displayed behavior that suggests manipulation, obstruction, and misuse of emergency motions." The ex-wife looked as if the words physically struck her. "For these reasons," Judge Marlowe declared, "the court rules as follows. No spousal support shall be awarded to the respondent." Assets shall be divided fairly as proposed by petitioner's counsel. Any further frivolous filings may result in sanctions. She struck the gavel. Court is adjourned. Harper stood in stunned silence. He had actually won. After months of stress, fear, and chaos, he had won. Evelyn packed her files calmly. "Congratulations," she said. "You earned this one." Harper smiled. A genuine, hopeful smile he hadn't felt in years. "Thank you for everything." Evelyn nodded. "You're free now. Use that freedom wisely." Harper looked up toward the courthouse doors, the sunlight spilling in. For the first time in a very long time, he stepped forward without looking back.